Let's take Action Module and its components out of the box. The Action Module, mounting screws and Allen keys, battery bracket, shutter trigger cable. Mount the Action Module on the side of your Slider Plus. You can mount the battery bracket on top of your Action Module. Make sure you tighten the screws properly and plug in the power cord. Alternatively, you can use the included AC/DC adapter. Mount your batteries to the battery bracket. Turn the Action Module on. Action Module has 5 different modes: Wizard Mode, Photo Time-Lapse Mode, Video Time-Lapse Mode, Stop Motion Mode, and Macro Mode. In Wizard Mode, you will see the title, Hold OK to start recording. When in this mode, you can freely move your slider to find your start and end points. To start recording, press on and hold down the button. Your screen will read Record when it's in recording mode. Now you can move your slider from its start point to the end point of your slide. When you stop, your motion will be recorded. Keep in mind that Action Module will average the speed during the operation. Tap the direction that you want to send your slider. Your slider will move to the recorded point and stop. Tap the opposite direction to send your slider to the other point. You can also manually use your slider anytime. Tap any direction again to send your slider to the according point, as your previously recorded motion is preserved. Double tap any direction to put the Action Module into loop mode. Tap any direction again to stop the movement. You can easily adjust the speed by using up and down directions of the button. Quick tap on the button to switch to acceleration settings. In Photo Time-Lapse mode, you need to connect the shutter trigger cable from Action Module to your camera. Tap the button to see Get me to my endpoint message. Use left or right to find your endpoint and tap the button. When you see Show me where to start message, use the opposite direction to find your start point and tap the button again. Now, enter the duration you will be setting your system for a time-lapse. And tap the button to enter the desired frame rate of your final video. Tap on the button again to enter the desired duration of your final video. Action Module will make the necessary calculations and will let you know your maximum shutter speed. You can enable Ease In-Out option for smooth start and stops. You can either start your time-lapse immediately or you can set the timer to schedule it for later. Once you're all set, Action Module will briefly count down and start the time-lapse procedure. During time-lapse, use left and right directions of the button to see various information. At this point, you can also pause the procedure. You can tap to resume immediately, or you can set the timer for later. In Video Time-Lapse mode, tap the button to see Get me to my endpoint message. Use left or right to find your endpoint and tap the button. When you see Show me where to start message, use the opposite direction to find your start point and tap the button again. Enter the duration you will be setting your system for a video time-lapse. Once you are done, the Action Module will count down and start the procedure. Your slider will be moving in accordance with the values you have entered. In stop motion mode, you need to connect the shutter trigger cable from the Action Module to your camera. Tap the button to see Get me to my endpoint message. Use left or right to find your endpoint and tap the button. Use the opposite direction to find your start point and tap the button again. Enter the desired frame rate of your final video. Tap on the button again to enter the desired duration of your final video. You can enable Ease In-Out option for smooth start and stops. When stop motion begins, tap the appropriate direction to jump to next frame and shoot. Action Module will automatically trigger your camera. You can use up and down directions to move your slider freely without shooting. Tap on the button to trigger your camera for an extra frame anytime. In macro mode, you can set your slider to move at micro speeds. Use up and down to set the speed. And you can use left or right directions to move your slider accordingly. You can adjust the motor speed anytime using up and down directions. Tap on the button to stop the movement. Hold down left or right directions to fast forward or rewind the motion. Remember that when you're setting up your action module, you can hold down the button to go back to the previous settings and up the main menu at all times, except for the wizard mode. Holding down the button will put the wizard to recording mode. When you want to exit the wizard mode, simply turn off your action module and then turn it back on.